Hey guys, I've tried filming this video twice, and the first time the card was full halfway through. Well, I didn't know when it was, so I had to refilm it, and then Romeo just ran in. He's with his daddy in the other room at the moment, and he just ran in and started talking in the middle of the video. So I'd only just started it, so I thought I'd redo it. So fingers crossed that this time I'll get this done. So I have to keep it really short and sweet. So today's video is about letting go of sentimental items, and I wanted to do a specific video on this because I feel like decluttering in general, for a lot of people that are interested in minimalism and interested in downsizing, can be really, really cathartic, and they get into a really great rhythm, and it's not too difficult until they get to sentimental items, and it can be a really big barrier of in the way of, you know, kind of getting to that point where you feel like you have decluttered enough of your belongings. And I want to help you get past that barrier, and so I'm going to share some of the tips that I used to declutter or to decide which sentimental items I wanted to keep and which items I wanted to let go of. So, number one, I'm going to be looking at my journal because I use it to plan out my videos. I'm going to do a separate video on planning, on how I plan, how I get stuff done basically, especially as a mum. Even if you're not a mum, if you are working another job and you're trying to work on your dream job, oh my gosh, you've got to have a plan of how to get stuff done, seriously, and you've got to be really productive in the short amount of times that you've got. Okay, so my number one tip is to remind yourself of this mantra, and that is, things are not memories. I'm just going to say that again. Things are not memories. You cannot destroy or throw out a memory, get rid of a memory, or lose a memory by letting go of stuff. And this is really important to remember because I feel like the majority of the population does not believe this and doesn't really know this. And just remember that we have been tricked by the consumer world that, you know, in order to have memories and to have special moments with people, that we need stuff to go along with it, and we need to hoard that stuff forever. And if we don't hoard that stuff forever, then we don't have those memories, and it's just not true. So don't buy into it. Don't allow yourself to buy into that. Okay, so remember that. That's the main thing to remember. The next thing is to do your sentimental things last. Like when you're decluttering, do all of your decluttering of the rest of your stuff and then do sentimental stuff, and by that point you'll get into this really great rhythm of getting rid of stuff, and you'll find your own individual way of sorting through your belongings and downsizing, and you'll just be amazing at it by the time you get to the sentimental stuff, and it'll be a lot easier. My next tip is to figure out which items you're holding on to out of guilt or obligation. And this is a huge one. And again, it's where it's really important to remind yourself of that mantra, that things are not memories. And this can be particularly hard when it comes to items that, you know, have been passed down, like heirlooms, or things that have been given to you by people that are no longer with you. And I think it's really important to just repeat that mantra in your head. And if it's something that you truly desire to keep, and it's giving you joy or, you know, usefulness in your life, then, you know, keep it. But really check in with yourself and sit with it for a moment and figure out how it truly makes you feel. The biggest thing for me was that the items that I was holding on to out of guilt, I never felt truly joyous when I held those items or looked at those items. But the items that I was keeping out of, you know, because I really desired to keep them, there was no kind of, there was no like double-edged sword with them. I didn't feel like, is that the right phrase, I don't know. I wasn't split on my emotions with it. It just gave me a really, really wonderful feeling of joy when I held it. And so that's how I knew. And I just let go of all the other stuff, and I have no regrets about it. And I let go of a lot of sentimental stuff, a lot, far more than I have kept. So remember that, really go through that. And the next thing is to go through your belongings, like put them all in a big pile together, and that will give you an idea of how much you have, because it's really important to have a vision in mind of, what your end journey looks like. Is it fitting your stuff in a backpack? Is it getting your stuff into a, 2-bedroom house, or a single bedroom house, or an RV, or a house bus, or what is it? What does your dream minimalist space look like? And once you have that, it really keeps you on track with that kind of overall goal in mind, which is like, I want to have this particular space that will fuel this life that I dream and desire of. And so keep that in mind, and then go through each item and just hold on to it and see if it truly sparks joy, which is the KonMari method. Or if it's something that, you're just kind of keeping because you've always kept it, again, like out of obligation or guilt. Then when you've figured out what you want to keep, find a special place in your backpack or your home or your house bus or wherever it is that you live, or don't live, find a special place for it and keep it there. And treasure it, really, really treasure it. You don't want to have stuff shoved into the back of the wardrobe with a whole lot of other stuff. You really, really, really want it out. And you want to be able to enjoy it regularly. Heirlooms. Okay. Heirlooms, as far as like kids go, as in like whether to pass things on to your children, there are some things that you might think, oh, what if my, child or children wants this? If it's something that if you haven't had children yet, or your children are, they're really young, like they're babies, you can hold on to it and see if they want it when they're older. My personal opinion is that if you have something that's an heirloom, or it's just belonged to you and you want to pass it on, and you want to pass it on to your children, give it to your children now. Give it to them now. And teach them. Yeah, they might be really young. They might lose it. But if they lose it, they're not going to get it back. It's going to give them a really good sense of, how to take care of your belongings and why it's so important to take care of stuff. And I had this. I was given something when I was about 19 and I lost it. And I still remember that horrible feeling of losing it. And it made me really start respecting my belongings a lot more. And so give it to them. Pass it on to them. And if they don't want it, and you don't want to keep it, then let go. Just give yourself permission to let go of stuff. And so I just wanted to share. So those are the tips. I hope they were helpful. And I just wanted to share a few of the things, like the things that I have kept that are sentimental to me. And these things, there are only a couple of them that actually serve purpose, and even then they're not like necessary items, but I just wanted to share them with you to give you an idea of what personally worked for me, and hopefully that will help you figure out what works for you and your lifestyle and your needs and wants and desires. So some of the things I have kept are, I have some teddies. I have 6 teddies, I believe. 3 of those are actually not like sentimental, as in I haven't had them for a long time, but I love teddies. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I really love stuffed animals. But 3 of them I've had ever since I was a little girl, and they're really special to me, and they're falling apart, and they have no purpose whatsoever, like as in they're not like a practical item to keep, but I love them so much, and so I keep them. And I also have a ring that belonged to my grandmother that she wore every day, and I love it. I also have a musical, like a little music box that plays Somewhere Over the Rainbow, which is my favourite song, and Nick gave it to me. It was the ring box that Nick proposed to me with, and I use it as a little jewellery box for when I'm not wearing my rings at night. But it's mainly just really pretty and sentimental, and I love it. I also have a a teapot that's the most like useless teapot in the world, but it's really pretty, and my mother actually gave it to her mother, my grandmother, many years ago, and it's from Hawaii, and it's really special, and it's kind of chipped and worn, and like I said, it's really not a practical teapot. I do still use it, but I love it, and it's a special item that I have. And I also have, and I have passed this on to Romeo because he really loved it. It's a little sterling silver heart-shaped ring that I was given as a child, and it still fits my pinky, but Romeo loved it. I didn't really wear it, and so I passed it on to him, and he wears it sometimes. And I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want any other videos on this topic, and if it was helpful for you and how you're going in your minimalist journey. I'd love to know. And thank you for watching. Thank you so much. I love each and every one of you. Love and light to you all.